Won't you please come join me for some midnight therapy? Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Midnight Therapy. I am your host, Kat Matthews. Sorry if you were waiting up all night for me to post this week's episode. I did not get around to it until today. Today is Sunday. I was unable to film the show Friday or Saturday. I was in Philadelphia yesterday for a party. It was quite fun. I do enjoy small doses of Philly. Not a lot, but once in a while it is fun. I went to a fun party. It was a birthday party out there. I had a couple cocktails. Had a good time. My fiance is pregnant, so she doesn't drink and does drive pretty much everywhere now. So that's a little nice that I get to drink if I'd like to. It's nice to have that option. Not saying I do often, but this time I did, and it was fun. Talked with a lot of interesting people. Good time. We went to church this morning. We go to church sometimes. We used to be Creaster people, like Christmas and Easter. Now we go more. It's good to have it in your life sometimes. Some type of spirituality practice is good. You know, as long as it's not hurting anyone. But we went, and our normal priest, funny guy, Father Andy, he was not there. It was a replacement. And some people have ADHD like I do, or whatever you want to call it. Let's say a introspective thinking process that never stops. Let's call it that. And I have this inner monologue going on, and I deep dive into stuff in my head sometimes. And at church, that happens sometimes. Maybe it's the lady's hairdo in front of me, or maybe it's the kid staring at the phone. He's watching like Coco Melon, and I start watching the Coco Melon during the mass. It could be anything. It could be a myriad of reasons or distractions that get me. But today I was thinking about the Pope, who is very sick, double pneumonia. He probably won't be making it this time. The popes are usually old, and they get sick and they go. So I started thinking maybe our priest was not in attendance because he was called to a secret Vatican meeting in which they are going to elect a new pope from a lottery, meaning that all the priests from all over the world, or maybe some that are selected, must go to the Vatican, into the catacombs where they have all the Holy Grail artifacts and things like that. Secret room, and they draw a lottery number, and then that becomes the next pope. I was thinking maybe our priest is in the running to be the next pope, which is why he wasn't there. That's what I was thinking about in church today. I don't know if it's true. This is just sort of my thought process, Like, the Flying Dutchman must have a captain, like the Catholic Church must have a pope, and they call the Brethren Court of all the priests gathered. Maybe he was selected. Maybe he got on a flight. Hopefully not Delta. We'll get to that. Who knows? But if it happens, if the Pope does pass soon, which it's looking like he's going to, I hope he doesn't. But if our priest is the next Pope, then maybe I was onto something. I don't know. Maybe something was speaking to me, telling me that. I don't know. It probably won't happen. Before church, we went to Dunkin. Now, I don't want to rant too much about this, but I'm going to say something that we're all probably thinking. Well, maybe you're not. Maybe you might after this. We got a coffee. Now, me and Christy both got coffees, and we got avocado toast with bacon, which is it's like a peasant food. It's a piece of bread. smear a little bit of a green poop textured material on there and some bacon bits. This is not a 5-course meal. You get what I'm saying? And it was like 20 some dollars. 20 some dollars for 2 pieces of toast and 2 coffees. Now, my coffee is just black. I don't get anything in my coffee. I don't get 5 liquid pumps of poison like some people get. I don't get a caramel macchiato, frappe, double shot of espresso, whipped cream, and caramel drizz. I don't get that. I just say black coffee. So to spend 20 some dollars on 2 pieces of bread with baby shit smeared on it is a little crazy. Especially when you can go to McDonald's and get a delicious, juicy McDouble, oozing ketchup and mustard and those little onions. You could get nuggets. You could get fries and a soft drink for $5. You get a bundle box for $20, which is supposed to feed a family. They took the name family box away. Like it was supposed to be a family box. They took it away because it was probably fat shaming the people that take that down by themselves. That's probably the problem. Where they're like, we shouldn't call it the family box anymore. Maybe we just call it the big box or the fat kids meal. I don't know. But anyways, that's 2 Big Macs, the big ones, 2 cheeseburgers, 2 large fries, and a 10-piece nugget, and that's $20. And we paid that for 2 coffees and toast at Dunkin. Not a fan, Dunkin. Not a fan. It's bean water. It's just filtered bean water. It's coffee. It used to be like a quarter for a coffee. You'd throw somebody a quarter. Coffee's usually free. Like if you go to a car dealership, the coffee is free. We're paying $20 for toast and a coffee. Not good. And when we were going to Philly, we stopped at one too at a Dunkin', and they had a tip jar. Now, I'm not going to be rude. I'm a bartender. I understand tips are important. You don't deserve a tip if you work at a Dunkin'. I don't really think you deserve a tip. Some things you deserve tips for, like a service, like a tattoo, or if you're getting a haircut, sure. You're doing something, it takes a while, it's custom, it's art, you could call it. To put a Nutty Buddy donut in a bag and to pour the coffee into a styrofoam cup, I don't know if we need to be tipping for that. Are we going to tip our cashiers now? Like that's their job, Like, I'm sorry, but you don't need a tip for everything. I went to a car wash today. The one where you drive through, and they wanted tips. They wanted to, because we paid extra to have it towel dried. That was a feature. There was $11. They just run it through. And then there was a $13 one where they spray the underneath and they wipe your car down. So we paid $2 extra, which is funny because it's like, they're going to, if you don't pay that, if you do the $11 basic package, they are going to shut off that water underneath the car. Like, do not clean under there. They didn't pay. Like, that's crazy to me. But we paid for them to wipe it off briefly. And then they still had a tip thing. Like they wanted a tip. Like this is going to lead to perpetual nonsense. Like you will have to tip for probably everything one day. Like if you go up to someone at Walmart and you're like, hey, do you know where the socks are? They may put a tip jar out. Say, yeah, right over there. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And people will do it. People will do it that feel, that they're virtuous and altruistic. They'll say things like, they're trying to make a living. I get it. The thing that's different about a bartender, like you make the argument, what about a bartender? Well, the bartender's with you all night. The bartender's bringing your food. The bartender's making you these drinks. I'm really good at the 2-ingredient drinks. Anything more than 2 ingredients, I have a hard time with. The vodka Sprite and the Jack Coke, that's fine. Once the drink has a name, that isn't the ingredients, I have a problem. Like the Jack and Coke, that's the name of it. It's also what's in it. I like that. When you're like, get me a Cosmo, I'm like, I don't know. What? Tips are out of control. Dunkin' Donuts prices are out of control. We're going to do a quick news recap on this show, and I'm going to talk a little about some things that are bothering me. And I'm going to give you some therapy, some advice, some life advice. Like I said a few episodes ago, people are stealing eggs. Eggs are going up because of, what did I say? Bird flu. Get ready. And now you're seeing things that should only be little bits or comedy stunts on this show, but now they're happening. Like, this is something I would have said or kind of said. People are now selling like Lucy eggs on the streets, like cigarettes. Remember, like a Lucy, it'd be $1 for one cigarette, and people would make a little money, try to hustle on the street a little. People are now selling bags of eggs, like 3 eggs in a little dime bag tied up with a bread tie, like opening the jacket. I got eggs, farm fresh. People are setting up stands on the street, like a yard sale, selling eggs in the city. Eggs. Wake up and smell the bacon. This is all insane. This is insanity. People are buying out like Sam's Club and Costco and all that of their eggs. They're buying pallets of eggs to resell. Any chance to make money in this country, people will. That's all it is. It's just like our entire culture is now just, how do you get rich quick no matter what? Even if it's off a fake crypto coin named after poop. How do we make money? And that's it. It's just a pursuit of greed. How can we flip these eggs to a family that needs them? Like, how can we mark up these eggs? How can I monetize this? How can I make short form content out of this? Like, and it's exhausting. It to nauseum. It is so irritating. You can't even live your life anymore. Somebody gives a homeless person, I don't know, like a bagel, and like someone has to make a TikTok out of it. It's just too much. Like, you got to run to Costco and buy all the eggs, and then talk about how you made $10,000 off these eggs as a profit, as a business, and then they call it like entrepreneurship. It's disgusting. It's disgusting. I guess good for them for making money, but it, like with eggs, I don't know. I don't know. These plane crashes are crazy. Obviously, there's been, maybe it's a coincidence, but there's been a lot of plane related incidents going on. The latest one was that Delta flight that flipped over. Like, I never saw a plane flip over like that. I guess the weather conditions were so bad. It was very windy. But the plane flipped. It was on its top. And everybody survived, thankfully. But what I found interesting is Delta offered everybody $30,000. I think that's incredibly low. I think if you almost die in a plane crash, that's worth at least $1 million. I think that's worth at least $1 million. I think they're gaslighting these people with 30K. I think they're insulting their intelligence. I think any lawyer can prove that that's worth considerably more than $30,000. You know, people fall at like a Borders books and get $1 million. You know, this was a plane crash that went upside down. It looks like a scene out of a movie. 30 grand. What's that gonna do? Like, what is that? Like, it's gonna be nice. It's convenient, but it's not gonna change your life. They'll probably tax it. They'll probably tax it somehow. You'll get like 21 grand. And what's that gonna do? Take a chunk out of your 200,000 student loans, or put a down payment on a Bronco? and still have 500 a month payments on it? I don't know. Well, it's not going to do much. Could have been dead in a plane crash. 30 grand, not enough. Ozempic. I read an article about Ozempic. We are a fan of Ozempic, fan of the show. Ozempic. Not a sponsor, but maybe one day. I read that they found out how to synthesize the active ingredient in Ozempic from this Gila monster. It's venom. It's like this lizard. Look it up, a Gila monster, I think. It's like a Komodo dragon type thing, and its venom is what they're basing the Ozempic chemistry off of this lizard's venom. And people are like, it'll make me thin. Put it in. Put it in. That should be their slogan. If it'll make me thin, put it in. Even if it is a lizard's venom. I don't care what it does after. I don't care if it kills me. Make me skinny. I have a wedding to go to. You know? That's why I think, like, whether you like RFK or not, him trying to, like, fix the healthcare industry and the medical, it's useless because people don't care. Some do, but most don't. He was like, I want to look into antidepressants. And people are like, no, how dare you? Like, freaking out. It's like, shouldn't we want to get off those eventually one day? I get if you need them. I almost went on them once. I understand. But it's like, you don't need to be that attached to them. Like it's like you're creating addicts to these anti-anxiety, antidepressant drugs, SSRIs. Not good. Gila monster venom will make you thin. Just remember that. You heard that here. Not everybody heard that story. We're kind of like a news show, getting you the important stuff. We're not talking about the nonsense. We're talking about the important stuff, like this. Bonnie Blue. I hope I got that name right. Bonnie Blue. She's let's say, she's an adult film star, actress. You know what I'm saying? Corn. She's known for sleeping with, we're saying everything so formal. Sleeping with over 1,000 men in one day. I think it was like 1,100, and it was like in 12 hours. Look it up. And this is how you know we're at the end times, because she actually is famous, and she's, I don't know, looked up to for that. Like, it's an achievement. I wonder if that's in the Guinness Book of World Records. That'd be a weird read when you're in middle school. You flip to that page. Whoa, look at this. But no, she is now in the news again because she is now pregnant. Now let that sink in. 1,000 men in one day. Can only imagine how many in her lifetime or in a year. But in one day, you got over 1,000. Imagine finding the dad or figuring out who the dad is. Now, like we talk about these people selling eggs for money, they never miss an opportunity. I don't want to miss an opportunity here. I think this should be a reality show on Bravo. It'll be like the 1,000. You come up with a name. I don't know. 1 out of 1,000 dad or something. 1 out of 1,000 daddy, baby daddy 1,000, something. And it would just be this girl trying to figure out who is the father after her day. After her day. Imagine the info on the TV guide. Bonnie Blue had a fun Tuesday, but now she's pregnant. Which one of the 1,000 men do you think is the father? And then it's just like a reality show every week. Kind of like The Bachelor. Imagine being that kid on career day where you bring your parent to work or school rather, and you say, well, my mom is a nurse. She saves lives. My mom is a lawyer. She sues people that get in plane crashes and gets them money for almost dying. My mom is a scientist. She um, extracts venom from the Gila monster to make Ozempic, to make your mom thin. And everybody claps. And then this kid's like, my mom slept with 1,000 men in one day. Not good. I don't think Bonnie Blue was thinking that through. Really does prove we're at the end times here, ladies and gentlemen. It's probably all over soon. Be comforted in that it'll reset. There'll be a great reset. Maybe we'll get it right next time. The government spending shit all over the news. I'm so sick of hearing it. I'm going to be honest, and I got a rant here, and some of you might not like it, but it's a free country, and you're allowed to change your opinions on things. I get that people want to hear about this. I'm not going to talk about it in this show because you hear about it enough. Of course, there are things that need to be looked into. And of course, there's fraud. There's been fraud forever. There's been misuse of funds forever. I get it. Doing it this fast and laying people off without a plan, I don't think is a good idea. You're going to trim a lot of fat, but you're also going to get rid of some people that should not have been fired. That they were doing good things. Certain nonprofits and certain historical societies and things like that, they're all losing their jobs. I get it. There are misuse of funds, but some of it is actually doing some good. And I don't know. I don't think it's good to just shut it down. That's a hot take. Because I do think we need to. I like transparency. I like seeing where the taxpayer money is going, but I don't know. I think it's a little too fast. Slow down a little with that. Come up with a plan. And this is where I really have a problem. I really do not like Elon Musk anymore. And I really didn't like him that much to begin with. I thought Tesla was a cool company. I liked it. They were paying homage to Nikola Tesla. I liked the Cybertruck, and a lot of people hated it. I thought it was cool. I liked SpaceX. I liked what he was doing. And I liked that he bought Twitter at first because it was, again, transparency. And this is kind of becoming a trend with Musk. He sells you the guise that I want transparency and I want people to know, but he totally has other stuff going on in the background. A lot of people don't get it because they're so infatuated with this pseudo Tony Stark guy. But I do think he's a problem, and I think he rose way too quickly to power, and I don't think he should be that close to the president of the United States. Do I think Trump knows what he's doing with Musk? Yes. But it's very easy to lose control, and I think the guy already said way too much. Number one, he's not a great speaker. I almost hate hearing him talk. He sounds lost. He almost sounds like he's on a substance a lot of times. He gives off manic, crazy, like he doesn't really say anything when he speaks. Kind of. And I, like I said, I used to like this guy. I used to think he was doing some good. But I don't like seeing him that much. I don't like seeing him in the White House or in the Oval Office. I think they're trying to sell you this idea that this guy's very normal. Like, look, here's this little boy picking his nose, and he's a normal guy, and he likes Trump because Trump cares about making America great again. He and all these other billionaire freaks don't give a shit about you and me or anyone else. They only care about themselves. I don't even think they care about the country. I don't even know if they care about life on Earth. Like all he wants to do is go to Mars. Like he doesn't care about people. And as much as they try to tell you he's normal, he's the most abnormal person I've ever seen and you've ever seen. You're just, I don't know if we're all desensitized to things, but the guy was dressed up like me the other day. He had the exact. I think he watches the show, and he stole these sunglasses. These, if you go look, these are the exact same sunglasses that he had on, and I had them first. I wore them first. Look it up, and that's fine to wear the sunglasses. If you're me, if you're a ranting cowboy in the basement with 30 subscribers, that's fine. But when you're second in line to the president and you're wielding a chainsaw around at like a convention for Republicans, it's weird. And we need to start calling it out. And this guy's in charge of all the money in the country. He's not stable, and he's not cool. Like, people are trying to say that he's cool, and these like crypto freaks online love him and they think he's very cool. But I don't think he's cool. Like, I don't get it. I mean, it's cooler than some of these other tech guys, but like, I don't know. It's not sitting well with me. I get a bad vibe out of it. If anyone agrees or disagrees, let me know. But I'm getting an odd vibe from Musk. All these guys were left wing because the left wing was playing ball with big tech. Then they kind of stopped, and the right wing under Trump was more willing to play ball, and then they all came over. If that doesn't bother you, it should. They all changed their tune overnight. Amazon, Google, every one of them switched right over. Now they're hardcore Trump people. It's not normal. They don't do anything for anyone unless there's something in it for them, and there's obviously something in it for them, and there's definitely something in it for Musk. He's not doing this to help middle-class Americans in Jessup. And Trump is older, and he does not want to fall behind and not be relevant. So I get why he thought bringing him on would be good. But when you bring these dudes that dress in hoodies and their names are Big Balls and they're using AI to hack into records, like, it's not good. I don't care what anyone says. The transparency is great, but you need to keep a little bit of law and order going. You can't just pull an Indiana Jones and absorb all the info from the crystal skull. It'll blow your brain up. Remember that? The crystal skull one where she's like, I want to know. And the alien skulls show her everything and she can't handle it and her brain explodes. You can't show the American people everything. They're going to lose their mind, and the system won't work anymore. And like, the left, I do believe, is corrupt, but they knew how to keep things going. Like, they're like, well, we're going to lie to these people so that they don't implode. And they did that. And that's not good either. But it'll keep it going. It's like putting duct tape on a hole in your ship. The ship will still float. Trump went down and just ripped all the duct tape off. And it's like, well, it was just duct tape. It wasn't even holding it up. It wasn't a real fix. Yeah, but now we're really sinking. It doesn't, neither's right. You don't want to patch the holes of your ship up with duct tape, but you also don't want to rip all the duct tape off until you have a plan on how to fix it the right way. And the plan is not giving Elon Musk my sunglasses and a chainsaw and access to all the records. Not good. Now, Trump always has a fall guy. If you notice, no one around him is really stuck around. He'll get rid of you quick, and he'll use plausible deniability and say, it wasn't me, it was them. Kind of like we did with Pence. Threw him under the bus. I predict he will probably do the same with Musk. If it goes bad with Musk, he's probably giving him a little bit more time. If his approval rating goes down or people stop liking Trump and MAGA so much because of Musk, he will kick him to the curb so quick. And Musk will be fine. He's still going to be worth $500 billion, but he will not be in that White House anymore if he doesn't deliver for the Don. And that's what I see happening very soon. Trump always wins. He's 5 steps ahead. These tech guys, they think they're going to get one over on Trump. It's not his first rodeo. He's going to say, thank you for getting me elected, Elon. Now get out. You're fired. And he's going to go, what? And he's going to say, you heard me. Get out. And that's going to be it. And their breakup will be all over the media, and people will be like, oh, blah, blah, blah. They'll talk about it for a week, and it'll be old news. That's probably what's going to happen. That's what should happen, to be honest. Musk, little odd, little cringy. overstepped a little. If he backs off a little, that'd be fine. I don't need to see him on the news every day. He does not need to be giving briefings every day. I don't want to hear him every day. It should have been done in the shadows anyways. You don't need to you don't need to show off the process so much. You know? Just do it. Do it. Do your job. I don't need to hear about it. You know? Especially when it's him. He's not the greatest speaker. He's not who half the country voted for either. They voted for Trump. Musk jumped down at the end. He rode the coattails in because he saw something in it for him. Bring JD around more. That's the VP, you know? Not some random tech guy trying to make money or expand his reach. That's my take. Maybe it's wrong. Maybe it's right. Who knows? Bad vibe, though. Bad vibe. And he stole my sunglasses. I wore them first. Mike the barber was critiquing me the other night, saying how ridiculous it was that I have a bug out bag. And I heard this from him before. He says, well, you have a house. Why would you need a bug out bag? And I explained to him, it's not really like that I want to go out in the woods and hunt rabbits. It's that if anything were to happen, everything is in one spot. Now, he even admitted to me he has a flashlight and some things that I had in the bug out bag around his house. What I'm saying is put it all in one spot so you know where it is. You know, if you need it. The bag is just organization. I'm not saying I'm going to begin camping immediately if the grid goes out. No, of course I'm going to stay in the house as long as I could. It's preparation. It's better to have it and not need it than need it and not have it. That's all I'm saying. But no, he was like, oh, you must be paranoid. You must be, you have anxiety all the time. No, I don't. I just, like, you can understand that things are horrible and still be perfectly okay. Like I do. It's just being a realist. Like, I know the government's corrupt and I know the entertainment industry is toxic. And I know that terrible atrocities go on in the entertainment industry and the government, but I'm still going to enjoy a movie. And I'm still probably going to like vote and enjoy the 4th of July. Like, I'm not going to just give up on everything and become this paranoid freak. I think you can understand, that the industry is terrible, the music industry and politics, but still enjoy Chappell Roan. You could still enjoy her, even though she looks like JoJo the Clown. And you could still favor a political party, even though they're both corrupt. Like, it goes without being said, we understand they're both corrupt. You could still lean one way or another ideologically, and that's fine. Tom Hanks probably on Epstein Island. I still enjoy watching Toy Story and Castaway and a few other films. He's good. He's a good actor. Bruce Springsteen has very different beliefs on certain things. I don't care. I still love his music. I'm aware that an EMP could and probably is a real threat and could make life in the U.S. very different. But I'm not going to stop going to work every day. I'm not going to stop doing this show. I'm not going to stop enjoying things. You could know something and then still exist, That's kind of how it works. Like, I don't know if Santa Claus is real. I'm not for certain, but I don't think he is. He doesn't visit me anymore, but I still put up decorations of him and worship little idols of him sometimes. Not really. You know what I'm saying. We put the little knickknacks up. Imagine being like that, though. It's like, he's not really real. Yeah, but so? It's like, hey, the world might not really end. Yeah, but whatever. Still going to have the bag. In case it does. In case Santa does come. It's like, how corrupt Hollywood is? Yep. I still went to the movies, though, and saw every film that I wanted to, even though I knew it was corrupt. That's kind of what I'm saying. So to Mike the barber's point, I don't think just because you're prepared for the end of the world means you're paranoid. You know, I just think it means you're, you know, fail to prepare, prepare to fail. I'm just being precautious and proactive. But I do have some good news. I'm going to talk about some good stuff here. I'm going to give you a little therapeutic advice on traversing these waters. Um, Life is very temporary, meaning this is an ephemeral blip in the grand scheme of things. Um, we spend a lot of time and we waste a lot of time worrying about what other people think. People that we'll never meet and that we don't even like. We worry about that. And you really don't have to. And once you do let go of worrying about what people think, you do become free. Now, I'm very free. I have long hair, I have a beard, I dress the way I want. I talk about what I want. I play music. I am very interested in philosophy. I I garden. I have this podcast. I do stand up comedy. I have free will. I'm using that free will as much as possible. It's very freeing when you do that. And it's hard to do that because we're always so worried about what others may think, not me, but you need to let go of that. And you need to just stop worrying, period. Like, just don't worry. Like, the world could end tomorrow. Don't worry about it. It doesn't matter. It's out of your control if the world ends tomorrow. Worry about what you can control. Um, Freak incidents happen all the time. Here today, gone tomorrow. My point is, don't go through life worrying about everything. So, in that regard, I'm going to give credit to Mike the Barber. That's actually a great point. You don't have to worry about everything terribly. You know, it's okay to talk about politics and how bad it is and maybe the end of the world, but don't let it be a driving force of your decision making in your life. That's kind of my point. I went to a viewing. My friend from high school's father passed away unexpectedly. It was terrible. Um, these are life's little reminders to tell you to stop worrying about things. If you have a problem with someone, apologize, talk it out quicker, sooner than later, because if you wait too long, it never happens. I'm in a very similar situation with that. I don't speak to a very good friend anymore, not my own doing, but he doesn't speak to me, and we never got to talk it out, and we probably never will, and it's unfortunate. Say your sorries, say your I love yous. Don't leave people upset. I got a family member I'm dealing with that right now also. The cycle goes on. The human ego is a crazy thing. The human ego tells you that your pride trumps all. That's, if you crossed me, I'll never talk to you. That's all nonsense. Forgive, forget, let it go. This is all a quick ride here. And when your time's up, your time's up. You can walk through this life happy. You can walk through this life sad. Each step is closer to the end. If your steps are happy, if your steps are sad or mad or jealous, it's still a step close to the end. So choose wisely how you traverse through this park. It's just a theme park. Imagine being at Disneyland upset. You have a ticket to Disneyland. Get a chicken leg, get the big turkey leg, get the Mickey ears. Ride the rides, have fun, watch the fireworks, enjoy it. Don't sit in the corner on the bench upset. You have a ticket here. You're in. Use it. Explore the map. Take a picture with Goofy. Get breakfast with Donald. Eat breakfast with Donald Duck, if you could. Seize the day. Seize the day. You're here. You're in this game. Enjoy it. Doesn't mean you can't be aware of corruption and politics and all this other doom and gloom stuff. You could be aware of it, but don't let it ruin your life. You could be in line in Disney and be like, wow, this company makes a lot of money and they're kind of nefarious in some of their actions. But you could still enjoy Minnie Mouse to an extent. Don't enjoy it too much. Disney adults are weird. Anywho, we're off track. I wrote a book that's not finished called Temporary Happiness. And I used to talk about, I brought it up on the show before, touching the stove and getting burnt. Some people have to touch the stove to get burnt, even though they saw so many people touch it and get burnt. They're like, well, that won't happen to me necessarily. And they need to get burnt and see the scar for the rest of their life and look at it. You should be able to learn lessons before they happen to you. You know, like the event doesn't have to happen to you for you to learn the lesson. So, like my friend's father passing, tragic. You don't have to wait until someone you love passes to learn that life is short and you should, you know, be sorry and forgive people. Like you should just know, be like, oh my God, life reminded me again. Another close call. I learned from that, and I didn't have to touch that stove to get burnt. I saw somebody else get burnt, and they have that lesson. I'm going to learn that lesson too. You can learn from the world around you, and it's worth doing, you know? But as long as you're here, the way I put it is it's a dodgeball game, and everyone that has died that you know is on the sidelines, not waiting for you to join them on the bench. They're screaming for you to win at all costs. You know what I'm saying? They're cheering you on. All those people that have died. You're still in this game. They wish they were in the game. They're not waiting for you to give up and just join them on the bench. They want you to win. You know? That's generations of people on that bench waiting for you to win. You know, this is your game. You got a ball in your hand. Conquer. Go do it. Go win. Don't just sit around moping, waiting for your, I don't know, waiting to join them on the bench. Win. You're going to get to the bench no matter what. Game's going to be over eventually. If it's still going on, play it. It's balance. It's balance. You want to be a realist, not a pessimist nor an optimist. Right in the middle. That's the key. So thank you, Mike the Barber, for checking me a little about being a little too maybe coming across paranoid. I'm not pushing that you should be paranoid. I'm a cranky person that likes ranting about Dunkin' Donuts because that's just who I am. It doesn't mean that you should be mad at everything also. Maybe you should just enjoy the avocado toast and not listen to me. Maybe not. Not everything. But that's why we all have different opinions here. But thank you for checking me on that, Mike the Barber. More positivity. I will sprinkle some in once in a while. If the news cycle was better, it would give me more opportunities to talk about positive things. But usually it's not the best. You know, it's lizard venom and plane crashes this week. And the 1,000-man woman pregnancy girl. But that show would be good on Bravo or Hallmark. I do have some very good news to end the show on. I do find positivity a lot in life, and I am happy about some things. And I'm not always cheap. If something is worth it, I will spend the money. You know, the avocado toast I didn't think was worth it, but I did find something at Walmart. I saw it online, then I found them at Walmart that was worth every penny, and I'm going to show it to you now. These are SpongeBob candy Krabby Patties. And who cares about that candy? I get it, but they come with a toy. They come with it's a Krabby Patty plus prize little box. So I bought all of them. I bought the whole thing. I actually bought 11 of them, and I opened them up, and it was a lot of fun. And I was going to film opening them up, but I didn't. We didn't have to go that far. Like I said, I hate the short form content. But I got a bunch of them. You know, I almost got them all, but I did buy the whole thing, as you can see. And here's what I got. I know a lot of you watching are going to be very jealous. I'm only missing 4. Yeah. So I got these are like Weeble Wobble toys. This was worth the money. This is what we should be spending money on in America, especially when you're an adult. I got Squiddy. I got Sponge. I got like 3 Larrys. If anybody wants to trade me a mermaid man for Larry, I would. I also would like Gary. I did not snag a Gary. I got this Krabs, Mr. Krabs. Patrick. I got Barnacle Boy. No mermaid man, but I got Barnacle Boy. Got Puff. Puff Daddy. Just kidding. It's Miss Puff. Mrs. Puff. Bubble Bass. And like I said, the 3 Larrys. I got an extra Sponge as well. So I'll probably keep some of these on the desk from now on because they make me happy. You know, they make me happy. Nothing more that Americans love than cheap junk. You know, knick-knack junk. And I'm guilty. What are you going to do? But yeah, these brought me a lot of joy. We need more gimmicks like this. You need more stuff. Like I always say, enjoy a crab cake, get a shamrock shake. That's kind of like, let's wrap it up here. We don't need to be seeing all this stuff about the government spending. We like living in our comfortable lie. We can't handle the truth. We like distractions. We learn to love the prison that we build for ourselves bar by bar. And when you're in prison, some things make you happy that maybe when you're outside, they don't. Like when it's Meatloaf Monday, that's a big deal when you're in prison. You know, outside, you might take Meatloaf for granted. In my little prison where I have to go to work and do all that, I have some releases. I get to do the podcast, I get to do music, and it's fun. And I also get to play with these little Weeble Wobble SpongeBob toys as an adult. And that's enough for me. This is what you need to do. You need to stop worrying, number one, and find your Weeble Wobble SpongeBob toy, whatever that is in life, and go get it. And do it every day. It might be that you like painting, or it might be that you want to write a book, or you want to learn how to, I don't know, karate. Maybe you want to do karate. Do it and do it. Go all in. And it will distract you from all the crap in life that you could be aware of. It's okay to be aware of, but you won't focus on it all the time. Find your little Weeble Wobble SpongeBob, whatever that is in life, and go do it. That's what I have to say. We're going to start introducing segments on this show. We're going to get into that a little later, but it's going to be cool. There's going to be parts of the show that are a little different. So that's cool. That's also a Mike the Barber idea. Thank you, Mike. We're almost at the 50th episode. This is 41. I got a couple guests coming on, and I want to this is a small goal, but I'd like you to help me with it. I want 50 subscribers for the 50th video. Is that possible? We're at like 33 now. Can we get a couple more? What is that, 17? 17 more subscribers. Share it. Tell your grandma. Tell your grandma's friend. Go to bingo. Tell them. Take their phone and just do it. Imagine them getting notified. Like some grandma. Like, who is this man popping up every week in the hat? The man in the hat. They'll think she's like schizophrenic. Like the man in the hat. But yeah, let's get to 50 for 50. I would like that. And then that'd make me very happy. You know, just like these little SpongeBob toys do. With that being said, this episode is brought to you in part by Jack's Pub and Eatery, and of course, Three Saints Barbershop, located in historic downtown Jessup, Pennsylvania. Mike did me up with a nice trim. Got the stash looking good. Jack's, always a pleasure to work at Jack's and encounter everybody on Wednesday. It's always a good time on Wing Night Wednesday. Yours truly is there, always. Working his life away. That's pretty much it for this week's little recap. If you have anything to say that agrees or disagrees with any of the points I made, please do not hesitate to comment. We need that engagement. Please like, subscribe, and share this with Grandma. As always, stay curious, my friends. Good night.